Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be ranking every year for film this decade so far. Now before I give you my ranking, feel free to share your ranking down below in the comments, and let's begin. So coming in at number 5 for the years for movies this decade is obviously going to be 2020. Now 2020, there was still a few good movies that came out, but obviously with that being the start of COVID, there was less opportunities to see your favorite or most anticipated movies. And like 2020, while I would say it was a letdown year, at the same time it was hard to expect as much once there was COVID. We still had movies like Tenet, we still had Bill and Ted Face the Music, we still had the original Sonic that year, we still had Onward, which I thought was great. So 2020, while it is easily the weakest year, there were still some good movies, but obviously compared to the other four, it doesn't stand a chance. But 2020, I don't think it was an awful year, but easily the worst of the decade so far, and it is my number 5 in terms of years for movies this decade. Now coming in at number 4, this one feels unfortunate to say, it will be 2024. Now I don't think this year was terrible, this past year. However, I don't know, just compared to 2023 and 2021 and 2, it just was not as great of a year for movies. Now, there were still a few movies I loved. I loved Deadpool and Wolverine, of course. Dune 2 was great. The Fall Guy I thought was great. Sonic 3, which I saw a few weeks ago, I thought was great. However, 2024, I just didn't love as many movies this year as I did the previous years, and even the movies I did love, they wouldn't really stack up for my favorite movies of the previous 3 years. So while I still love some 2024 movies, it is unfortunately the second weakest in terms of years for movies this decade. However, there were still a few shining stars this past year, but just not as much as there were in the previous 3 years. And now coming in at number 3 is 2021. Now this unironically might be the best year for superhero movies, because we got Zack Snyder's Justice League, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Suicide Squad, and Shang-Chi. However, the year for movie overall was good, but it obviously wasn't like the best ever. But we still got a few other movies. We got Dune, which came out that year. We had Free Guy that came out that year. We actually also had Venom Let There Be Carnage, which was also another superhero movie, which I thought was pretty good. However, overall, 2021 wasn't like an amazing year for a movie. Oh yeah, we also got West Side Story that year, which I thought was pretty good. So yeah, like I was going to say, 2021 was a decent year for movies. I thought it was a great year for movies, I would say, mainly because of all those superhero movies alone. However, just because it might be a contender for best superhero movie of all time, or best superhero year for movies of all time, in terms of superhero movies, that doesn't mean it's the best overall this decade, because besides superhero movies, the other movies were good, but they weren't best of all time this decade. And now coming in at number 2 was 2022. It was somehow way better than 2021, which feels impossible to say, because 2021 was already great. However, as great as 2021 was, it wasn't even half as good as 2022. 2022 was on a whole nother level. I think you could unironically say it saved movies because more people started to go back to the theaters. Of course, we got the Batman that came out that year. We got Top Gun Maverick. We got Glass Onion, Knives Out. We got Avatar Way of Water. We got Elvis. We got The Fabelmans. And even for Marvel, it was a decent year for Marvel, I think, because we did get Multiverse of Madness, which a lot of people I know were disappointed, but I really liked it. We got Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I really liked. We also Even for DC, we got Black Adam, which I thought was decent. So yeah, like 2022, I thought was a great year for movies. We also got Everything Everywhere all at once that year, which I actually still haven't seen that, but I know a lot of people loved it. Yeah, 2022 I thought was a damn great year for movies, and it is easily my number 2 in terms of years for movies this decade. But coming in at number 1 is easily 2023, arguably a top 5 year for movie of all time. I mean, let's just go off of the movies that came out that year, because I thought 2023 was terrific. You had Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, you had John Wick 4. For superheroes, you got Across the Spider-Verse, you got Guardians 3, you got The Flash, which I know a lot of people weren't crazy about, but I personally loved it. You got Blue Beetle, which I thought was great. You actually also got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I thought was great. And in terms of other movies that came out, you got Oppenheimer, which was fantastic. You got The Holdovers, you got The Creator, you got Godzilla Minus One. 2023 was just a damn great year for movies. Easily my favorite year for movies in my lifetime, actually. And a contender for top 5 of all time. Oh yeah, you also got Killers of a Flower Moon that came out that year, and that was an amazing movie as well. So yeah, 2023 is the king of years for movies this decade, and we'll see if any other year for movies this decade tops it. But for now, it is number 1 in terms of years for movies this decade. Now, thanks for watching. Feel free to share your ranking of years for movies this decade down below in the comments. And I cannot wait to see what we have in store this year. And I cannot wait to do more videos. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.